March 14, 2018. Vienna's streets glittered under winter. Streetlights, icy air brushing against the cheeks of pedestrians. The Vienna State Opera loomed ahead, golden lights shimmering across its ornate facade. Cobblestones glistened from the previous night's rain, reflecting the glow of the lamps. Ozzy paused, adjusting his black leather jacket. His silver rings caught the light. Long hair blew slightly in the breeze. Behind dark sunglasses, he stared at the grandeur. "Come on, Ozzy," Sharon said, gently squeezing his hand. "You'll love it." "I don't know. Fancy suits, classical music. I feel like I'll stick out like a sore thumb," he muttered, grinning crookedly. Sharon laughed softly. "You always think that. Just keep an open mind." The professor giving the PI show lecture noticed him and whispered, "Opera isn't for people like him." Ozzy raised a brow but didn't answer. Judgment didn't faze him anymore. As they entered the hall, Ozzy's eyes swept across red velvet seats, golden chandeliers, ornate walls, and paintings telling centuries-old stories. "This place, it's enormous and fancy," he whispered. Sharon tucked her arm through his. "It's not about how fancy it is. You'll feel it soon." Ozzy took a deep breath, noticing the quiet anticipation in the hall. He saw the orchestra set up, chairs neatly aligned, music stands polished. Patrons quietly found their seats, murmuring softly. Every detail, the gleaming chandeliers, the intricate gold molding, the soft plush of the seats made him feel out of his element, but curious. He whispered to Sharon, "It's beautiful, but a little intimidating." Sharon smiled. "Exactly. Just let it in. You don't have to understand everything, just feel it." The lights dimmed, a hush falling over the audience. Ozzy felt it immediately, a wave of expectation and tension. The orchestra began, soft strings slowly blending with woodwinds, a gentle prelude that felt almost electric. Ozzy leaned back, skeptical. "Is this guy singing or screaming?" he whispered. "Just wait," Sharon said, leaning close. Her voice was calm, confident. The soprano stepped forward, her costume sparkling under the spotlight. Her voice rose, clear and strong, filling the hall. Ozzy blinked. He hadn't expected anything like this, emotion swelling, carried by a single human voice. He tapped his foot unconsciously. "I didn't expect to enjoy this," he murmured. Sharon smiled, holding his hand. "It's not just music, it's storytelling." He looked at the crowd around him, elegantly dressed couples, elderly patrons, families. He felt out of place, yet strangely included. He felt the rhythm of the music vibrate in his chest, the drama on stage pulling him in. Ozzy noticed the professor frowning in the corner, clearly surprised at his attention. Ozzy leaned back, allowing the music to wash over him. Every note was a story. Every pause, every swell, every high note carried emotion he didn't expect to feel. "Wow," he whispered to Sharon, voice barely audible. "I actually like this." Sharon's eyes sparkled. "I knew you would." Music wasn't just sound, it was alive. Storytelling in a language he didn't need to understand, but could feel. The performer's gestures were grand, precise, and mesmerizing. Every costume detail seemed to tell a story. Sharon leaned close. "See, I knew you'd love it." Ozzy chuckled softly, shaking his head. "I didn't think I'd actually enjoy this, but it's incredible." He leaned forward, gripping his armrest lightly. Each note tugged at him. Each dramatic pause felt almost personal. He gasped when tension rose, laughed quietly at lighter moments, and occasionally held his breath, caught by suspense. The professor looked on, disbelief etched on his face. He had expected boredom, maybe an early exit. Instead, here was Ozzy Osbourne, fully immersed, nodding, reacting, completely alive. Sharon whispered again, "I love seeing you like this." Ozzy closed his eyes, letting the music consume him. "I never thought opera could feel this alive," he murmured. With a dramatic duet, the tenor's voice soared, echoing through the golden hall. Ozzy gasped audibly, unable to hide his amazement. "This is incredible," he whispered. He clapped at all the right moments, laughed at comedic cues, and whispered observations to Sharon. Every glance, every expression on stage drew him deeper into the story. He felt the tension, the emotion, the joy, and even heartbreak of the narrative. The professor was stunned. The rock star who had conquered stadiums, the Prince of Darkness, was fully absorbed in classical music. Sharon squeezed his hand. I knew you'd love it. You just had to give it a chance. Ozzy nodded, a wide grin spreading. You were right. I really love this. For the first time in years, Ozzy felt completely present, entirely outside himself. Music didn't care about his fame, style, or reputation, it only cared about his willingness to feel. By the finale, Ozzy was fully immersed. He stood with the audience, clapping, cheering, laughing. Every gesture on stage felt alive and personal, every note hitting him deeply. The professor shook his head, clearly impressed. Sharon leaned close. I told you so. Ozzy laughed, admitting she was right. Totally right. I never thought I'd say this, but I love it. He realized art doesn't care about your background or expectations. It only asks you to be open, to let yourself feel every note, every gesture, every emotion. Ozzy looked at Sharon, eyes shining. I feel different, alive, really alive. The opera ended. Slowly, the hall emptied, the grand doors closing behind the departing audience. Outside, Vienna sparkled in the cold night, the streets alive with lights reflecting on wet cobblestones. Ozzy stepped out, taking a deep breath of crisp winter air. He turned to Sharon, a soft smile on his face. Maybe we should come back next time. Sharon smiled, slipping her arm through his. Absolutely. As they walked through the quiet streets, Ozzy reflected. The unfamiliar could bring joy. What he expected to be dull had instead revealed beauty, emotion, and a part of himself he hadn't known existed. Even the Prince of Darkness could be moved. Sometimes the greatest surprises come when you step out of your comfort zone.